Hello everyone and welcome back to tomorrow's weather today. Today we have a tropical update for you as we have two systems in the Atlantic that we will be talking about. Tropical Storm Gonzalo, which we will talk about quickly, and then Tropical Depression 8. There is a new area of interest for a tropical wave coming off of Africa, which has a 20% chance to develop in the next 5 days, but we will not focus on that as it is not a threat to land at this moment. Tropical Storm Gonzalo has had an iffy day. It got up to a 65 mile per hour storm, um, and now it is back down to 60 miles per hour because of some dry air that is getting into it. Some hurricane watches have been posted and tropical storm watches for some of the Windward Islands. This forecast cone only goes out to Monday, which is day 4, because they do anticipate weakening as it gets past the islands. And right this dot is a 45 mile per hour storm, and they expect it to dissipate after day 4, the NHC. They're expecting this to get up to a 75 mile per hour storm in the next 36 to 48 hours. So we will keep a close eye on intensity. But looking at a visible satellite as of right now, it looks better than it did earlier, but you can still see evidence of dry air on the western side. If we pause this right here, you can see some stronger convection popping up there, but the drier air taking over here on the western and northern sides. Still has a moist bubble on the southern side, but it's definitely looking better than earlier where it was like very, very broken. Um, and it's definitely gaining back some of the rotation that it lost earlier. You can see the clouds rotating more cyclonically. Looking at water vapor, hopefully this loads quickly. I probably should have loaded this before this video started. As that's loading, let's look at the track. We can see models are in good consensus where this will be headed towards. A stronger storm will be more north, and a weaker one will be more south. They start to disperse as the hours go on. My guess is that these tracks are for a stronger storm, and these are for a weaker storm. Going back to water vapor, we can see all this dry air up here with that Saharan layer that we were talking about yesterday. Here's our storm right here. Definitely some outflow starting to expand. Better. This is a small storm, so it can intensify quickly and it can weaken quickly. And there's very little shear at this point, but the dry air is the main problem going for the storm. If this was, if this dry air, this dust wasn't here, um, this storm would explode most likely because of the warm waters, low shear. Um, but it is moving into dry air, and this dry air will be accompanying it through the way as it goes off towards the west. Looking at intensity, we can see that a lot of them bring it up to at least a low in Cat 1, and then bring it back down as the days go on. Um, but overall, this will be a high-end tropical storm or low-end Cat 1 at this very moment. Looking at the track, according to the GFS, we can see our storm right here, very, very small. It moves into the islands Saturday night, and then becomes a trough by late Monday afternoon. Our energy of Gonzalo is right there. We will have to watch. I don't think the models are really hinting at it right now, but we will have to watch as it moves in. If the energy moves into the Gulf, we will have to watch for redevelopment as waters are warm. But wind shear might be a problem at that point. Looking at the relative humidity in the atmosphere from in the mid levels, we can see all that dry air right here, and that belt of 30 to 40 knot winds. And we can see that actually move along with the storm as it moves off to the east. It does dissipate. Here's our storm right here. Um, So some of the moisture actually lifts up towards Florida, and some goes into the Gulf. Um, so it's definitely something to keep an eye on. This will be impacting the islands late Saturday into early Sunday. Looking at where this energy goes, once again, we can see it right here. Um, it splits off in two pieces, one right there and one right there. Um, so I think if this survives longer, it has a better shot to get into the Gulf and redevelop. We will see that could be like a Harvey situation. I'm pretty sure Harvey started down here, uh, dissipated over the Yucatan. If I or no, I'm sorry. I think Harvey was. I don't remember exactly what happened with Harvey. Um, I'm pretty sure it was out here, dissipated in the Caribbean, and then reformed in the Gulf, and then became a Cat 4. Um, I'm not saying that will certainly happen, but it is possible. This is the energy from Gonzalo right here. Um, at the a couple days out, next Thursday, so a week out. Um, I will definitely be keeping an eye on it. Upper level winds are not entirely favorable. Um, they're light over top of it, but you don't see that high pressure, upper level high pressure above it, which you would like to see for outflow. It definitely looks like it gets better as for the next day or two. So we'll have to see if the dry air really um, tears this thing apart. That's really what I'm looking for right now. I'm going to set this up um, for talking about Tropical Depression 8, which actually looks a lot better than Gonzalo does. You can see it has some rotation, cyclonic vorticity, and convection is pretty steady for the most part. There's a few pop-up storms here that we'll see if they pulsate. My guess is that they will. But you can see that upper level high pressure as the upper level cirrus is expanding clockwise around the storm. You can see low level winds are coming out of the east there. You can see some westerlies down here, northerlies over here, and there are southerlies on the eastern side. As of right now, it is very broad, and that's why this isn't a tropical storm yet. If we actually, let's go here. Let's see, is there aircraft recon? Um, so this was in there earlier today, this plane. We can see um, very weak winds, but it is very broad. You would like to see the stronger winds closer to the center. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do start to consolidate very soon. But it is very broad at the moment, and it should consolidate over the next few hours. Looking at water vapor, and going back actually to the NHC website. Sorry, this is taking forever to load. Yeah, here we go. Expected to strengthen, likely to bring tropical storm force winds to portion of the Texas coast. Heavy rain is going to be the main threat, and maybe some storm surge. Looking at the cone, we can see that tropical storm warnings have been posted for much of the Texas coast, and tropical storm watches north of there. Expected to make landfall around Saturday, sometime Saturday afternoon, and move inland after that. Max winds are going to be 60 miles per hour according to the NHC 2 days from now. Um, and it's who knows if it's going to get that strong. Maybe it can get a little stronger. It might be a little weaker than that. Looking at potential rainfall, as of right now, it looks like the heaviest rain is going to be near Louisiana with 6 to 10 inches. But for Texas, anywhere from 1 to 6 inches. I would not be surprised over the next day or two that we do see uh, these colors increase into the oranges and maybe even reds, as this will be a slow mover. Because if we look back at the track, this is 1 p.m. Saturday. 12 hours later, it's barely moved. So this is definitely going to be a big rain producer here. Um, and flash flooding is also a risk, as there is a slight chance for flash flooding for all of the Louisiana and Texas coastline. Looking at water vapor, um, you can see that the cirrus really starting to expand now in all directions. This is meaning that the storm is breathing properly, and it's going to be able to strengthen once it consolidates. I'm just looking for this upper level low because there was one over here. It was backing off to the west. It's there. My guess is that it's right over here right now, just by the look of these clouds. The upper level low is there. Looking at intensity, most bring it up to about a 50 knot storm. Oh, one other thing. Looking at the European for Gonzalo, it's actually bringing it in stronger. So you remember yesterday, even this morning's run, or last night's run, the 0-Z run, it was an open wave coming into the islands. Now it has it as a stronger storm, um, and dissipating on Tuesday and becoming an open wave right here. And it's really trying to develop that wave behind it. Wow. Um, I did not expect that. 967. Um, don't pay attention to the winds because this is up at 850 millibars. Um, this storm is going to be something to watch possibly down the road. But as of right now, let's not worry about that. We have Gonzalo and possibly Hanna to be dealing with. So here's our storm right now. The GFS doesn't really develop it, maybe, or it's already developed, but it doesn't really do much with it. Um, I don't know why it's not wanting to do anything with it, but we're going to go on to pivotal weather and look at the European because that is easier. But um, looking at our 200 millibar winds, we can see here our storm's right in here, but we can see that upper level high, and here is yeah. So our upper level low is where I thought it would be, right over Mexico. It's right there, and then our upper level high with expanding cirrus. Looking at our energy, it's I don't know why the GFS it's just not excited about the storm at all. But you can see this moisture field moving into Texas, um, with a lot of tropical moisture moving in. So let's take it over to pivotal weather really quickly, which I haven't been on in a long time actually. Very surprising. Uh, the high res precipitation. Let's go to Gulf of Mexico. Perfect. Wow, look at how big this system is. Um, let's see what the European does with it. Doesn't really strengthen it that much, 1002. But it's more excited than the GFS is certainly about the storm. Looking at winds on this, 24, 25 knots. I'm sure it's going to be stronger than that. 31 knots. It actually strengthens as it gets closer to the coast. Um, the global models are not excited about this storm at all. Actually, about either of the storms, um, which is it's tricky because of especially because of the size of Gonzalo. Yeah, wow, that's definitely something we need to be keeping an. I'll keep an eye on that over the coming days. Um, yeah, I'll keep an eye on that with the euro. The GFS isn't really showing it. If we go to forecast hour 240 on the GFS 240, yeah, there's nothing there. So overall, I think heavy rain is going to be the main impact from TD8, and we'll see how long uh, Gonzalo is able to go for Whether this makes it past uh, the Windward Islands, if it makes past Monday, we will see from there. Um, but to me, Tropical Depression 8 looks healthier, and we will see with impacts on Saturday. I really wanted quickly to go over Hurricane Douglas, which is forecast to affect the Hawaiian Islands as a hurricane come Sunday. It is a 125 mile an hour storm with a minimum pressure of 959 millibars. Um, it's going to start weakening from here. Looking at visible, it's absolutely beautiful. This is the most beautiful hurricane that I've seen, um, or most beautiful storm we've seen this year. And this is out in the East Pacific, about to cross over into the Central Pacific at 140 west. Um, but you can see the general motion of it is to the northwest. Um, excuse me. Very circular, very bandish likes. You can see all the banding. It's a very beautiful storm, and it is powerful. It is something that the Hawaiian Islands need to be keeping an eye on, and that eye is completely clear of clouds for the most part. So the Hawaiian Islands should look out for a lot of heavy rain and strong gusty winds. That is it for today's video. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on those post notifications so you never miss a new video, and I will see you all soon. Have a good one.